Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be giving you 5 reasons why you should buy an Audi S4 B6. So first and foremost, we'll talk about the 4.2 litre naturally aspirated V8 that comes inside the S4. This engine comes with 339 brake horsepower and 410 Newton meters of torque through an S-tronic automatic gearbox or a manual like this example. One of the main things that attracted me to this car was the fact it was naturally aspirated. Most cars nowadays are turbo or twin turbo or whatever, and they just don't really make cars like this anymore. I mean, it's a V8 in a wagon, and you know, there's cars out there that do that now, but they're £60,000-70,000. I mean, I paid less than £7,000 for this vehicle. I mean, insurance, I think the insurance was £1,500 and I'm 22 years old. I just think value for money, it's hard to sort of compete with this kind of format. In today's standards, this car isn't very fast. Well, I suppose that's the wrong term. This car isn't very quick. The 0 to 60 time, I believe, is around the 6-7 second mark. So off the line, especially with that manual gearbox, it's not the fastest thing, but at top end, it does have a lot of the legs over most modern vehicles. This one, I believe, has been mapped. I don't think the brake horsepower has changed, but we've had it past the 155 limiter. That's all you really need to know. So if you want a car that you want to take to the Autobahn, or you know, even track day, I've seen people track day these, and I think it would be quite a fun vehicle to do. I mean, me and my friend Storm Stacey, we track dayed at Audi S8 with the same engine, and we had good fun. But performance-wise, yeah, it's not really going to throw you back in the seat and, you know, scare your passenger, but it's more than capable of ludicrous speeds, really. So it will definitely get you in trouble. But for me, the main reason to buy this car with this engine, and why I've chose this engine as one of the 5 reasons to go and get one, is the sound. I mean, it's a V8. And you know, really there isn't a lot better sounds out there. I find this V8, because it's 90 degrees, and I think most V8s are 60 degrees. Yeah, because of the shape of the V8 that Audi decided to go with, it has quite a soft sound for a V8, whereas Mercedes C63 AMG is very, very aggressive. This is quite soft and subtle. The sound is definitely there. I mean, you're not going to go past anyone without them knowing something's under the bonnet sort of thing, but it's also not nasty and aggressive. It doesn't really pop and bang. You don't get a lot of that sharp, nasty sound that you can get with some V8s. Some people like that, and I like that, but I daily drive this car, so sometimes it is quite nice to have something that, you know, if you keep it in the low RPM, it doesn't wake everybody up sort of thing. So for number 2, I've gone for driver engagement. And this vehicle, I believe, because of the year it was created in 2004, well, this one anyway, it's still quite a basic car, but with a lot of modern commodities sort of thing. You know, my S4's got heated seats, the sunroof, electric power steering, stuff like that. So, you know, you can get in it every day and it's not particularly difficult to drive, but then also it's not just boring. I've driven quite a lot of modern cars, like 2021 M340i, which is an absolutely fantastic car, but I do think you lose quite a bit of the soul when a lot of it is electrically assisted. This car is quite bare bones, to be fair. And to start with, I think the most obvious example is it's a manual, so I mean, already you have to drive it more than most vehicles these days. I mean, Audi don't really make many manuals anymore, if any. I mean, I think it's only in like the A ranges. I can't think of an RS at the moment that comes with manual. So you really do have to drive this car. You know, like I said, it's not particularly difficult to drive. The steering's not heavy, but it's certainly not light. Same goes with the clutch. It's not heavy, but it's not light. And the manual gearbox in this car took me quite a while to get used to be fair, because it was my first four-wheel drive car, because obviously this has the Quattro powertrain. And yeah, combined with that manual gearbox, it really sort of throws your head back and forward. It's quite funny seeing passengers. It's once you get it right, it's easy to work with, but it does take a couple of days of getting used to. If there's anybody here that's owned an Audi of this generation before, everything feels pretty much like home. My father himself, he's had a Quattro and a couple of other Audis, and it all just feels like home. It even has the typical Audi smell. All the interior is pretty similar to everything of this generation. It's quite nice, and you don't feel cocooned in it like a race car, but you also don't feel like openly exposed either. So while you're driving, you've got a nice dash. You know, it's very simple and very basic. It does the job, but it also looks nice. So that's pretty much it for reason number 2. I can't really give you much else, but you just have to trust me that, yeah, you are quite engaged driving this car. It's not something that you can just chill out in all the time. As much as it is nice to drive, you do have to concentrate. Moving on to number 3. Number 3 is how practical and comfy this vehicle is. You've got a lot of boot space. You've got a cover to hide your dead bodies. There's a spare wheel under there, and a full spare wheel at that, not a space saver, whole other wheel. The boot also comes with cool little things like that, which I don't think I'm ever going to use, but it's quite cool. These aren't storage, unfortunately, but you've got plenty of storage under there if you take the spare wheel out. Moving along to the back seats of the car, you've got nice comfy Recaros, nice cup holders, which I find quite cool. You've also got, is that, am I being a retard? There we go, that took a little bit longer than I anticipated. But yeah, you've got some storage under here for whatever you want, snakes and ladders, I don't know, whatever you fancy. Cup holders in the back, which is quite nice to have. Oh, also, you have a ski hatch, but don't open it because you won't get it back in there. Trust me, that's from experience. Everything's pretty simple, really. I think my only complaint is that there's no holder here for any storage, but I mean, that means people leave less stuff in your car. Just to make the point as well that these do fold down, so you can pull these down and then you've got a really big boot space. Coming along to the front, again, you've got lovely Recaros, heated Recaros as well. They're also electrically powered, so that's quite nice, especially for a car that's 20 years old. I mean, I had a 16-plate Audi A4 that didn't have electric or heated seats, so it is definitely quite nice. You've got an extender for people with long legs, which definitely isn't me. You've got a glove box, which I keep toilet paper in for when you need an emergency. You've got a stupidly designed little storage compartment there, or an armrest, which is just what I use it for. But generally it's a nice place to be. The seats are very comfortable. I genuinely have no complaints, really. I mean, we've done some quite far journeys in this, like an hour, 2 hours, and it's quite a nice place to be. I'm trying to find the right lighting, there we go. Yeah, it's a nice place to be, it's comfortable. And believe it or not, with the V8 you don't get a lot of droning, really. You know, the cab's quite quiet. That also paired with the Bose sound system, which is very good. I mean, I keep saying it, but for 19 years old, it definitely holds up in that department. It's probably better than the new A4 I had. It's very good. It's exactly what you'd expect from an Audi of this generation. All in all, I have no complaints for the comfort of the car. Like I said, we've done some far journeys and no one else has complained. The back seats are very comfortable, the front seat's comfortable. It's very easy to drive, it's got cruise control, so it's easy to commute or go out for fun. It's the best of both worlds, really, and especially I think the Avant format, I can't speak for the Saloon or the Cabriolet, but with the extra added space, it's such a practical car as a daily. I mean, I absolutely love it. I think it looks awesome. Let's just let that focus. I think it looks awesome. It sounds awesome, and yeah, it's easy to drive on a day-to-day basis. So we'll move on to number 4. Now, number 4, I think some people might disagree with, but in my opinion, I think it's going to be a future classic. And I think the reason being is, I mean, already there's not many left. If this is true, I think there's rumoured to be 127 left. I don't know how many in each individual colour, but 127 isn't a lot for anything. But the main reason I think it's going to become a classic is, some people might disagree with me, but I think this is the least favoured Audi A4/S4 or RS4, even though they didn't do one. I think everybody overlooks the B6 because the B7 comes with the RS4 and it was an altered platform to this, so it's arguably slightly better. The B5 is held as one either great. And anything newer than that's a completely different platform. They only did the B6, the B7 and the V8. So I just think that people don't really, it's the least loved. It's not that it's not loved, it's just the least loved. Personally, I think it's better looking than the B7, but that's opinion. I just think people overlook it. It looks like a B5 and people would rather the B5 RS4, and it looks like a B7 and people would rather the B7 RS4. And obviously at the time they didn't make an RS4 of this car because for some reason Audi still had the B5 RS4 on sale while this was in the shop. And to be fair, I can't really blame people for picking the B5 RS4 over this in the showroom, because yes, it was the new model at the time, but you'd pick the RS, anybody would. We're all badge snobs really, so you would pick the RS. It was also quite short-lived while it was out. The B7 only came a couple of years after, and it wasn't really much of an upgrade, but I think people were just, it was a much more modern design. It had a much newer steering wheel, because as much as my steering wheel has been sort of upgraded, it looks very old. And that's my only complaint. It's a very good steering wheel. It just ages the car quite a lot. And the B7 has the same one as the B8. It just looks a lot more modern. So yeah, that's reason number 4, or yeah, 4. I think it's going to be a future classic. I think, you know, people are scrapping them and whatever, and they're dying off. And I think one day people will soon realise that you're not going to be able to buy a car like this anymore. And once that's come round, it's going to be too late. These are sort of going to be the only things that are left. So I think potentially one day, I don't think it's going to be worth £1 million, but I think people think it's cool. That's all I can really say. So the 5th and final reason I think you should buy an Audi S4 B6 is because I've been told, I don't know how true this is, but from my research it seems to be true, this is the last S4 to come with 50/50 Quattro, permanent 50/50. Anything after this is 60/40, 70/30 or whatever it is, electronically adjusted. So this is the last one with 50/50 Quattro, and why I think that's quite important is that's how Quattro was. I think that's true to Quattro's form from the UR Quattro. I mean, I'm not the most educated person on that, so again, I could be completely mistaken. It could be 1090 for all I know, but that's what I've been told. And I think it's quite cool to have something a little bit close to that. I know this is nothing like a Quattro really. I mean, my dad had his Quattro at the same age I've got this, and I think he's outdone me there. But I think being 50/50 is quite cool. I mean, when I pull out my drive, it skips along, and sometimes it skips around about. So I think it's quite cool. I don't know, call me a weirdo, but I think it is. I think I just like that it seems plain and simple. It's just 50 and it's 50. There's no electronic adjustment. It's not 60/40. It's not anything else. It's all 4 getting it equal. And I just like that. I don't know. Like I said, I can't really give you a reason as to why that's to buy the car, but I just think that's quite a cool thing to know about the car. I think overall, I think it's an absolutely fantastic car. I've never owned a car that's made me particularly feel this way. Hey up, I've got a mate. It's a cat. He's a strange looking cat, but he's ace. See if we can get... Come here, mate. Oh, he's just vanished, mate. He's gone. Lad's done a runner. I don't know. Oh, he's there. I don't know if that focused, but he's 4-wheel drive. Look, he's 50/50 4-wheel drive. Anyway, sorry. Where was I? Yeah, overall, I think it's a cracking car. Especially, I think if you're a young lad as well. I think if you're like me, like 20s, it's a good car to get, because a lot of people now, you know, thanks to the way insurances are trapped into the same sort of cars, you know, your Fiesta STs and stuff. And don't get me wrong, they're amazing cars. They're, you know, it'll destroy this through a B road and stuff like that. But I think it's nice to drive something a little bit different. I mean, I go to petrol stations and, you know, you get all kinds of people coming up and asking questions about it, because I mean, this is the sort of car that you think back in 2004, like just a 35, 40-year-old dad that, you know, he had his own business or he worked for a company and was earning a good bit of money, because I think these were about £40,000 back in the day. you know, earning a good bit of money, just wanted a car that makes a nice noise. I think it brings back memories for a lot of people. So you do get quite, not a lot of attention, because most people don't really know what it is. But the people who do will come and talk to you for hours about it. I mean, I'm in a B6 group, and we all love them. Like I said, as much as I think they're the most forgotten generation of the A4, we love them. But yeah, overall great car. I have literally no complaints. Well, no, tell a lie. I can do a video of 5 reasons why not to buy this car, but in general I can't complain about this car. It keeps you on your toes, but you know, it's definitely, I mean, I've done 4,000 miles in it, and I've had like a couple of bulbs go out, and really that would happen in a new car, never mind a 20-year-old car. So I really can't complain. So yeah, thanks for watching the video, guys. If you want me to do the 5 reasons of why you shouldn't buy one, then let me know. If it gets viewed by 10 people, then it probably won't end up doing that, but I'm purely doing this just to rekindle my use on the MacBook to do video editing. So but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up if you want to. I'm really not arsed. Oh, shout out to Stormlord Stacey on YouTube. It's the account that me and him started at the end of last year. He's got nearly 3,000 subscribers now. Just got 12,000 views in the latest video. Please go over to that channel and subscribe. That's motorbike content and British superbikes. So please go and watch him. He's a lovely lad. You'll laugh your backside off. Yeah, go show him some support. And he's also got merch out if you want to purchase that. So yeah, thanks guys. See you in a bit. I was going to say as well, as a bonus, number 6, say, look how fit it is. That's a fit car, isn't it? Like, I wake up every day and I look on my drive and I'm just like, oh mate, that's fucking Pandabi that is. Look at it. Look how fit that is. I mean, yeah, she looks old. She does look old. I mean, you know it's old, but it's just sexy. Like, and if anyone's working at Audi or BM or bloody Vauxhall, I'm not bothered. Can we bring smooth lines back? Can you move and all? Just bring smooth lines back. I love that. Just nice and smooth. All cars nowadays just like straight lines, aggressive. And don't get me wrong, they look fantastic. Like the RS6 is absolutely savage, but like, I just like smooth lines. I just think it looks better, more aerodynamic. Just going on to the RS6, I am going to drop a clip of driving an RS6 because they are savage. Hope you enjoyed that little clip anyway of the RS. That's 720 horsepower, which is basically exactly double of that, and that's like pretty insane. So yeah, go and have your bath, tea, shower, shit shave, not bothered. See you in a bit.